Except the Lord build the house, they labor in vain that build it. Except the Lord keep the city, the watchman waketh, but in vain. The book of Psalms, chapter 127, verse 1. Hard work is important. Diligence is noble. But there are battles that skill, effort, and intelligence cannot win. Life is more than sweat and strength. It is warfare. Behind many failures and struggles are invisible hands, unseen passengers that ride along with men, silently sabotaging their destiny. Hard work is not enough. Unless you fight in the spirit, you will suffer in the flesh. This is the story of Mensah. Mensah wasn't just good at his job, he was anointed for it. When others gave up in frustration over a stubborn car engine, they would bring it to him. His touch was like magic. Within minutes, he diagnosed the fault. Within hours, he fixed it. Word spread quickly. People came from far and near, and his small workshop soon became a haven for exotic cars, owned by the city's most influential people. Mensah's life was a living testimony to the power of hard work, skill, and dedication. He was prosperous, respected, and kind. When one of his former apprenticeship mates was jailed after accidentally damaging a customer's car, Mensah intervened. He boldly approached the car owner and pleaded, "If I repair this car for you, will you release my friend?" The man agreed. Mensah rolled up his sleeves and worked tirelessly until the car was restored. True to his word, the owner let the young man go free. That was Mensah's heart, hardworking, compassionate, and sacrificial. But one day, the story changed. It wasn't gradual, it was sudden, brutal, and unexplainable. Cars he had repaired with excellence began to return with the same faults. He would spend days on jobs that used to take hours. He checked and rechecked, but nothing made sense. It was as though invisible termites were eating away at his efforts. He was working harder than ever, yet his results kept vanishing. Then the attacks intensified. The enemy doesn't only frustrate, he comes to steal, kill, and destroy. A luxury car vanished from his shop. Just like that, all his hard-earned profit went to repay the debt. He worked day and night, sacrificing everything to recover, but the suffering wasn't over. A car jacked up in his workshop collapsed, killing his apprentice. The lawsuit that followed drained every cent he had left. His business was damaged, his finances and reputation were in tatters. One day, after repairing a car, Mensah took it out for a test drive. Suddenly, from nowhere, flames erupted and covered the entire vehicle. Every attempt to quench the fire failed. The fire extinguisher in his hands only seemed to feed the blaze. In the end, the car was reduced to ashes, and Mensah was forced to work even harder to repay the heavy cost. But his troubles did not end there. Unknown to him, another car brought into his workshop for repairs was stolen from America. The FBI traced it back to his shop, and Mensah was arrested as an accomplice. He languished in prison for over 2 years before finally proving his innocence. By the time he returned from prison, his shop had been sealed by the authorities, his customers scattered, his business and reputation completely ruined, broken but not crushed. With nothing left to fall back on, Mensah turned to taxi driving, converting his own private car into a cab just to survive. At first, the taxi business seemed promising. But soon, a strange pattern began to unfold. Passengers waved him down, and they glanced inside the car, but the moment he slowed, they quickly signaled him to drive on. Day after day, the same story repeated itself. By evening, he was still roaming the streets, burning fuel with little or no passengers to show for it, returning home with empty pockets. Confused, Mensah wondered, "Is something wrong with my car?" Hoping for answers, he took it for bodywork and a fresh spray of paint. Excited and full of expectation, he returned to the road, only to meet the same rejection. Driven by frustration, he gambled on a full interior makeover, leather seats, carpets, roof lining, all on borrowed money, promising to repay within a month. Still, nothing changed. He was working hard just to break even. He was pouring water into a bottomless bucket. He was building his house on sinking sand. Sadly, nothing changed. The same rejection repeated daily. His sweat produced no harvest. His hard work yielded only suffering. Soon, the lender who financed the upgrades began harassing him, even threatening his arrest. One night, in deep anguish, Mensah cried out to God, "Why, Lord? Why? Why?" Heaven answered with a dream. In the dream, he was driving his taxi when a man waved him down. As usual, the man told him to move on. But this time, Mensah stopped and insisted he enter. The man replied, "I wanted a chartered taxi, not a shared one." Confused, Mensah said, "I'm alone, just enter." Then the man pointed and asked, "Will you drop the passenger at your back seat first?" Startled, Mensah turned. And there sat a strange man, silent, watching. Shocked, he asked, "When did you enter? Where are you going?" The passenger gave no reply. At that moment, Mensah awoke. He needed no prophet to interpret it. He was carrying a spiritual passenger, the strongman of failure. At once, he parked the taxi and launched into 7 days of serious deliverance prayer, binding the strongman of failure. On the 5th night, the dream returned. This time, he rose in holy anger, confronted the strange passenger, and forcefully dragged him out of his car. That moment, he knew the battle was over. That was the turning point. When the battle ended, his story changed. Passengers began entering freely. Business picked up. Soon, he raised enough to rent a new workshop and return to his trade. This time, his hands prospered. The business flourished like never before. Beloved, many of you are like Mensah. You're skilled, hardworking, and disciplined, but your efforts are swallowed by invisible forces. Your finances leak, your relationships fail, your health collapses, your labor bears little fruit. It is not always a skill problem, it is a spiritual battle. Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12 reminds us, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places." Hard work is good, it is necessary. But hard work alone is not enough. Hard work opens doors. Spiritual authority tears down walls. You must fight in prayer, or you will suffer in vain. May the Lord open your eyes to hidden battles, expose the unseen passengers in your destiny, and give you power to break free. In Jesus' name, amen. Please download the prayers from the description box. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. God bless you as you do, in Jesus' name. Amen.